Shalom, I'm Bon Shemayim, and today's video is going to be called Nuclear War Imminent, Weapons of His Indignation. So, God willing, you guys aren't living under a rock or too caught up with politics and everything else that's going on, Puff Daddy and Young Dolph murder trial, to catch what's been going on in the World War III arena, where Vladimir Putin just changed the nuclear doctrine that they go by. And it seems as if nuclear war is becoming more imminent, closer by the second. So today I got some clips on everything to keep you updated. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Peace out to the next time.
These representatives of NATO countries, especially in Europe, especially in small countries, they should be aware of what they are doing, what they're playing with. They should remember that small countries with small territory usually have a very dense population, and that's a factor that they have to keep in mind before they talk about striking deep into Russian territory.
There's also the elephant in the room. It's no mystery that Russia and the West have been at odds, and relations between the two are at their lowest that they've been in decades. Russian President Vladimir Putin trying to paint Russia as the victim, saying that he has no intention of invading Europe. But there was that moment earlier this week in which French President Emmanuel Macron said it was not off the table that NATO troops could be put on the ground in Ukraine. Most other European leaders distanced themselves from those comments, saying that they were not on board with that. But President Putin coming out issuing this stern warning as a result.
We also have weapons. They know about this. As I just said, we also have a weapon that can hit targets on their territory. And they should understand that what they are doing now, trying to scare the whole world, it does risk a conflict with nuclear weapons, which means the destruction of civilization. Don't they understand this?
This is the largest nuclear bomb ever detonated, the Tsar Bomba. Was detonated here 4 kilometers above the ground on Novaya Zemlya Island. Novaya Zemlya is extremely barren and was used for many different Soviet nuclear tests, including underground tests which are marked in purple. The shockwave radiated out, breaking windows in northern Scandinavia, specifically Finland and Norway. This is the blast radius of the bomb. In the center of the circle is Paris. The weapons dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki are tiny compared to Tsar Bomba. It was actually supposed to be 100 megatons, double what it was. It was carried by a modified Tu-95V bomber. The bomb itself was actually 26 feet long. It was rigged with a parachute so as to give time to the pilots to escape. Pilots were fitted with special goggles to prevent them from going blind from the blast. If you combine all the explosives detonated during both World War I and World War II, meaning grenades, naval guns, artillery, mines, everything, it comes out to 3 megatons. 50 megatons is almost 17 times that. This is the total radius of the blast from the nuke dropped on Hiroshima. Zooming out, this would have been the radius of Tsar Bomba if it was dropped on Hiroshima. Basically, covering the island from end to end.
Consequences if that happens. NBC's Danielle Imminent is here with the very latest. Danielle, good morning.
Good morning, Peter. That's right. The war in Ukraine was high on the agenda during this meeting between both leaders, but still, no decision has been made public. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been pleading with allies for months to let his country fire long-range Western-made missiles deep into Russian territory. We're talking specifically here about the U.S. ATACMS and the British Storm Shadows. Ukraine says these long-range weapons will allow its forces to destroy air bases and other military targets from which every single day Russia is launching attacks that are killing Ukrainian civilians. Until it's given the green light by Western countries, the Ukrainian military cannot hit those Russian targets. But the U.S. and the U.K. appear increasingly open to lifting the restrictions, which prompted a warning from Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, saying that if Ukraine fired those weapons into Russian territory, he would consider the U.S. and other NATO countries directly involved and therefore at war with Russia.
The revised version of the document proposes to consider the aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the participation or support of a nuclear state as their joint attack on the Russian Federation. We reserve the right to use nuclear weapons in the event of aggression against Russia, including if the enemy, using conventional weapons, creates a critical threat to our sovereignty.
Okay, so this is Isaiah 13, 4 through 6. We're going to start at 4. It says, "The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, in the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land." I wanted to go over indignation. That word, just in case people didn't get it, is I am. And the definition is anger or indignation, right? Fury, like it says, strictly from forth at the mouth. This is figurative fury, especially when God displeasures with sin. Angry, indignation, rage. Okay, so it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, in the weapons of his indignation, his fury, his rage, right? To destroy the whole land. How ye? For the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty, right? So this is coming, right? And we know that after this, it takes after this war before Christ comes. And there's a couple prophecies that have to happen after the war, but we know that the war has to happen and destruction is imminent. And these weapons, these nuclear bombs that I showed earlier in the video, God allowed these to be created. He allowed man to come up with these ideas to create each other so that he could use it to rile them up, so that they could use it to judge each other, right? To destroy the whole land. And after they're weakened, as we went over when we went over Joel a few videos ago, once they're weakened, we know that Christ comes and he's going to judge the whole world roundabout. So on this note, man, like I said on previous videos, I'm not doing this to scare anybody, just to prepare people, give people a heads up. There's so many distractions out there, with the election and everything. And to be honest, I still don't see us having the way things are getting pushed closer and closer. It's hard for me to envision an election happening, because it seems like we're in war. We're just waiting for the next couple steps for them to say, well, listen, we're in war. We can't have an election anymore. So on that note, just be prepared. I think it'll be a while before nukes actually hit our country. But I tell you one thing, whenever it does happen, they will not notify us. I think it's most likely we'll see it in Egypt or somewhere in the Middle East first. But on that note, I just wanted to say, the Wada Kaulau Hayaba Shimishai and Brakatha. Peace and blessings.